right, so in this one, people were asking me to react to this, and I'm just like, okay, cool, why not? I mean, it's free content. I love me some free, easy content. Not playing Legends. I just recorded that very long video of Namek Goku. I need to relax and lay back. So, you guys were telling me on Virgil's reaction video that I had to react to Zakashi's tier list, which is Gogeta is King, Top 10 Meta Unit / Fighter tier list, Festival 2025 Part 1. So, without further ado, let's react. I have no clue. I think I know one thing, and it pertains to Gogeta, which, I mean, if I gotta say my whole point thing again, let's just
Today we're going to be doing a tier list for the Festival Part 1 2025. Here's what we got. Imagine every Legends Limited at 9 stars. The Ultras at 10. That's about optimal if you invested in a unit very heavily. And this is a meta tier list, so we're considering all the factors that make PvP what it is. Not just a 1v1 between the units, but how they merge together on teams, their elements, and how their kits complement each other. Made this on stream, over 200 people there, and everybody was able to give their opinion. So if you ever see a tier list stream, you should probably pop in. It's a lot more fun and inclusive than you might think. Let's get into this. Alright, so
does
cool.
their opinion
We've got
factor
two
into
tiers
this?
that we're going to
I
start
hope
from
not.
the bottom, but obviously
thoughts.
we've got the 1 to
Just
10.
listening
So
to
we're
them.
starting with the fan service tier. Don't pay too much mind for the fan service tier. They're just characters that people like using. They're probably fun. They're just giving characters some screen time that might not make the top 10. They could be good, don't get it twisted, but they're not making the top 10, not good enough for that. But of course, some characters do need the screen time. For example, shout out the Manga Gohan. I mess with him. Anyways, honorable mention tier. These are characters that could make the top 10 for some people, just not going to make the top 10 for my tier list, or in this case, our tier list. So we've got here the Manga Goku. He's very good on the Dragon Ball Saga team, just not popular enough to make the top 10. Also not seen enough.
Manga Goku, very good. Shit, again, I'm a culprit of being fooled by on paper versus in play. I was fooled by Manga Goku. The reason he's not making the list because he's not seen enough? Who were people using? Listen, this is my thought on that. Who were people using when Manga Goku and Tambourine existed? Tambourine, right? I think that's I mean, that says it all. DKP banner. Tambourine was on, by the way. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just saying. Like, it's because he's not used enough.
At least in my eyes. We got Kefla. Could be used on the Fusion Warrior team with the new Gogeta. A lot of people are using her more than ever right now because she's on the Janemba banner. We got Metal Cooler with the...
I have 21,000 RP already. You could calculate how many matches that is. You know, maybe if you do like a calculator or something like that, like how much you gain per thing. And then since season reset, I have 21,000 RP. If you want to calculate it, feel free. I've not fought one, I mean it, one Kefla. I know they're not making it. They're the honorable mentions. I've not fought one Kefla. I promise. Not even one. So, bit different here. Bit different experience.
Buff, Future Gohan with the buff recently, the Zenkai, Ultra Super Vegito, Fusion Warriors, Cell with powerful opponents,
I'm making top 10.
Team. These are all characters that people do still rely on and do still use. I just don't think they're good enough to make my top 10. It's also not ordered, but they might make your top 10, which is why they're worth mentioning. There's also some characters that are not here because the tier list didn't have them. For example, Purple VB and Red Bojack. Both of them have a Zenkai, and they're actually quite good. You could use them very effectively in PvP. I would also put them somewhat in the honorable mentions here. It's just that I only use 7, and also they aren't in the tier list.
These are very generous honorable men. The ambulance. What time is it? Let me see. It's 1 a.m. Who's dying out there on Thanksgiving Day? Because it's Thanksgiving Day for me here. Stop. Feel better. Please, it's Thanksgiving. Don't be in the hospital. Be with your family, friends, loved ones. Please. Very generous honorable mentions here. Very generous. We're saying Red Bojack in PvP. You hear that? Honking and everything. It's great.
So yeah, if I had the images for them, they will be in the honorable mentions most likely. But yeah, let's get into the proper top 10. I think I'm gonna go 2 at a time, so I don't have to go everything individually. That'll take up
sure.
So at number 10 and number 9, we have the Dragon Ball Saga Goku, and we've...
So this is before I updated my top 10 list. I guess I could have it right here. Yeah, my top 10 list I've updated within Ultra Super Saiyan Goku. This is before Ultra Super Saiyan Goku got his plat. November 25th. This is November 27th, this video. So Yeah, it's before that. I would hope people would consider him top 10, if not barely. Again, I'm considering him like an 8 slot. You see, again, the tier list was right there. So, so what I had prior to was Frieza at number 10, and Kidku and Puddle were like 8 and 9 or something, like right next to each other though. So this is basically the same thing I had, funny enough. So I actually just want to hear why he has it swapped, because I think Frieza would have been lower, but now I understand that Kidku is worse.
Now these two, it was difficult to land them here because I'm looking at the honorable mentions, and you guys might feel like Metal Cooler deserves the place. You guys might feel like Future Gohan deserves the place,
Yes.
even Ultra Super Vegito, whoever you think. But we're going with these two for 9 and 10. Let's start with 10. So the OG Dragon Ball Goku. This guy here, his only drawback in Dragon Ball Legends is being from OG Dragon Ball. I kid you not. It's literally just a popularity tax. I simply feel it's...
Listen, I use them. Again, I use them with Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, who got his plat. And I just use them just because I wanted to try him. So, everyone's going to run Namek Goku. I want to try OG Kidku. Why not? See what he can do. He has his plat. He's not old. He just had a team 2 seconds ago, basically, before Festival. So, why not? But he was hitting like a stinker. That guy was ass cheeks. It was really, really bad to watch. And I always had to swap out of that motherfucker because that shit was so bad. It's not because popularity. I mean, sure, he gets hindered because he is not as popular, and then the big celebration drops. I get it, but he just kind of a stinker. This happened. This happened during 7th inning. Now it's happened again. It's just okay, you don't really do anything anymore. It is what it is.
And not a people
you got initial release wasn't
know
godly.
he
Diamond
is
still
that
better.
valuable. You could say the same about Metal Cooler as well, but the only reason he's not on the tier list, as in the top 10, is because simply there's better options. But with the OG Dragon Ball team, it's literally one of the better teams. It's just that it's so niche, people don't see it. OG Dragon Ball Goku having Indestructible is a survivability.
How does that make sense? The reason he makes it, he doesn't get higher, is because he's on a niche team. But the thing is with that opinion is that then you just put him on a different team. I mean, the Manga Goku, Manga Gohan, they're not even in top 10. And that would be his team, right? Jackie Chun, whatever I saw in the whatever slot or the favorite thing, whatever. He's not making it. So, I don't understand this thought process of it. It doesn't... Just because he's on a niche team doesn't mean it's the more subpar. I don't think that. Just put it with better units. Wouldn't he be better if he runs with better units? Run away Gogeta. Indestructible. Great. Have safety within Gogeta. It's great. Sub countdown. Big moves. Whatever. Boom. Great stuff. Said he's subpar individually. And his teams just aren't anything anymore because DB fell off because Boost is done.
See, a tier above, I would say, most of the game. That Indestructible is very, very valuable. You literally have to stop the combo. You have to stop the combo for it to untap. And even after the Indestructible, OG Dragon Ball Goku only gets better. His element being yellow, I wouldn't say it's the best of the best, but on the OG Dragon Ball team, he is protected. You've got the Jackie Chun over there, and you've also got the Manga Goku, and the team is incredibly tanky. You've got the Jackie Chun mechanic, you've got the Manga Goku doing excessive combos. He tanks as well. And then the Indestructible layer, plus the Dragon Ball Saga team with its equipment, and of course the OG Dragon Ball Goku got the platinum equipment. It just makes the team explode in damage. There's so much damage going around. I would say it's one of the best teams when it comes to circulating stats if you're running a full Dragon Ball Saga team, and that's the benefit of it. But that's also the downfall of it.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, this is a fucking glaze session for. I've never heard a kid who get this much fucking glaze. Isn't Gresh a DB lover DKP, DB, OG DB. I've never heard anyone in my life glaze Kidku this much in DB as a team. Holy shit. This is the first time in my life I ever heard Manga Goku get fucking talked about positively in my fucking experience. More than he's okay type of sentence. Holy shit. This is crazy. And he's just number 10? You would think he's top 5 with all this fucking talk.
Nobody wants to run the team. So it's really one of those ones where you're going to have to kind of take my word for it. Especially coming off the OG Dragon Ball Saga season where they were on the boost. They were actually really good. But still now, OG Dragon Ball Goku can put in a lot of work, which is why he's at number 10. And I'd say he's more of a valued unit over the ones in the honorable mention because of how he carries the Dragon Ball Saga team. He is the main...
He does carry it.
Anyways, moving on to Frieza. Honestly, I was thinking of moving Frieza out of the top 10 even further to the honorable mentions. He could be 10 honorable mentions. The reason I've got him here is because I think his death beam is too much of a valuable component in PvP. He doesn't do as much damage as he used to. That's honestly the truth. He does tank still because he has endurance and he also has the buff cancellation, but he doesn't tank as much as he used to. But that isn't enough to set him back when offensively he can get so many priorities because of that death beam. The fact that you can tackle sidestep, where usually if you press a strike or blast that wouldn't work, but if you've got a death beam, after sidestepping it's still going to chain, and that means you can get advantages in PvP more than you would with any other unit. And just off that, with the value of the powerful opponent team right now, he is very valuable. I don't think that I would put him below Metal Cooler based on the value you can get on the offensive end.
What's PO team with Frieza? 13 Frieza. Isn't Janemba heavy strike? CMZ's heavy strike, MZ's heavy strike. Don't say it's Metal Cooler, because I'll just fucking freak out. What? I guess. I don't know. I don't know what team Frieza's on. That's PL, but fuck it. I mean, the placements I basically agree with. It's the reasoning not fully.
At first, I was kind of thinking, maybe we should consider Metal Cooler. Purple is actually a good element right now, low key, and also he has 3 lives. That survivability aspect with the buff. That
Purple's a good element. Ultra Namek, the yellow. Puddle, Kidku, who's also in the top 10 here, and Janemba, who's going to be in the top probably 5, maybe 6, whatever. It's 4 yellows that are arguable top 10. Purple's a good element. What? Yes, he goes defense neutral. 5 counts after getting hit. Purple, good element? It's probably the worst element it could be right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
The devs gave him, he could be better than actual full power Frieza. But then I stepped back and thought, the defenses aren't that far off each other. Offensively, maybe Metal Cooler does more damage, even though I don't personally agree. But the potential to get combos started gives Frieza the edge. Again, and I think that alone
the
would keep him in the top 10. Just his death beam. It doesn't matter that he has survivability. Just the fact that you can run the death beam consistently, you'll be able to get an advantage over your opponent more than not. You have more options.
I agree with this more than Kidku.
They have to be afraid of your death beam coming, and that's why Frieza's at number 9. I already explained why Goku is at number 10, but that's going to be the 9 and 10 slots. Let's move on to the 8 and 7.
It's not crazy.
Now we've got the 7 and 8.
Whoa. Okay, now I'm really going to give my opinion. UI? Isn't Sakashi like a fusion glazer? Pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure it's like... I think that's accurate. SG, not Frieza, right there. So... SG, literally 2 blast cards, maybe even 1 blast card sometimes, in SG specifically. He's dead. Endurance Stone. He's literally dead. 2 to 1 blast card and he dies. Top 8. Because he has the annoyance factor? I mean, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Namek 7, I don't mind that. I like how it is so far. Again, most of the placements so far, I'm like, all right. And UI is obviously the anomaly, but still.
Super Saiyan Goku, and we've got MUI Goku. We're going to start with MUI Goku, of course. We're going 8 downwards. So MUI Goku, right? A lot of you might be thinking, how the hell is he this high up on the tier list, having fallen off and then somehow come back? And on top of that, being even higher than Ultra Full Power Frieza. Well, it's simply the value of blue. Obviously, it will make more sense once we get to the top of the tier list, but the value of blue is so high right now where there's not many. If anything, there's only 2 that are great in PvP, UI Goku being one of them. But something very underrated but valued by UI users is his stalling ability. The fact that he can just stand there on the PvP battlefield and nobody can touch him unless you've got a green, a blue, or a death beam, and even then you won't always have 2 in a row, right? Yeah. You can vanish and then stall. You can get your main ability back, your vanish back, sorry, through the main ability and stall. There's so many ways to use UI Goku.
So the implication here is that the top of the tiers would be like Red MZ's up there, right? Or maybe UV4, whatever. I assume Red MZ would be higher than UV4 on this list. I'm just taking a fucking guess. And that like he can fuck up Red MZ, but like accurate thought. But like, wouldn't you be able to run Red MZ? I mean, people are running right now Red MZ Super Gogeta 13, and like, okay, we'll just be a little precautionary character on the sideline there. So his element being blue isn't that crazy. I mean, I wouldn't say so personally. So it's okay. It's not the worst element, but it's definitely fucking taken a hit because of Mr. Green unit that dropped, obviously. Again, full nullify endurance. Like, Super Gogeta is not a direct counter to UI Goku, clearly, but, like, he's a very good stopper to UI. I mean, matter of fact, I've fought more fucking UIs than Keflas. Maybe 2 UIs this whole season. Maybe 5 peaking? Definitely not more than fucking 5. So, I get the stalling, trust me, I understand. People always say this when, like, a unit that's, like, kind of weird to put in a spot, they say, like, this one asset is such a huge thing that determines them in a spot. Like, they'll over kind of gas it. I think the over gas here is that he stalls. Correct. He's stalling, and then he auto dodges and auto hits here Gogeta for 300k. Well, that didn't do too much. All right, that wasn't too crazy. You just gotta deal with the fucking annoying gauge and just fucking get through it. It's not that fucking difficult. He doesn't even cancel buff effects. He just rushed the guy with Super Gogeta at that point. Who fucking gives a shit? And also, he's kind of homeless. I mean, CMZ, MZ, UI, I guess, is a team, but even then, like, why would you not just run anybody else? Like, why would you not just run Namek Goku? Why would you not just run fucking 13? Like, UI is not a close option to, like, Namek and 13 because how falterized he gets. Like, 13 gets falterized, but he's doing all these other bullshit things that he does, right? UI is obviously out of place here. I have not seen a UI Goku on any top 10 list, so, hey, cool to see him, but, like, because he stalls and because he can do okay against Red MZ, it feels like a stretch.
He is effective even if his defenses aren't the greatest, and in my opinion, his defenses aren't even bad, especially while he's increasing the enemy's cost while they extend their combo. So the fact that he has all of this available to him while being a very good blue that can punish the reds in the game right now, he is deserving of the number 8 spot in my opinion. It's just that he has more value where he's more necessary than other units that wouldn't be necessary. For example, even though we have full power Frieza here at 9, right, I don't necessarily think UI Goku is better than full power Frieza, but as per the
how is
meta,
Frieza not more valuable than UI? Like, okay, you don't think he's better. UI, obviously, UI is not fucking better than Frieza. How is Frieza not more valuable? Wouldn't Frieza's own stalling and he's stalling while hitting them as well, not just stalling standing there. He's stalling and hitting them, which is crazy. Wouldn't Frieza's value of his stalling and his damage that he can do, whether it be high or low, be more valuable to cancel buff effect that he has that UI doesn't? I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive at that point because they're both kind of weird spots of teams, and then the individuality of UI to Frieza, well, Frieza is probably better individually, and element-wise, there's a blue 13 running around basically every fucking game. Is Red MZ as common? Well, Red MZ is going to be with Super Gogeta, or with Namek, or with somebody that's going to give him a safety precautionary. So, like, again, it's kind of counterintuitive, the point there, because we could look at the individual at that point. If their teams are both kind of wonky, Frieza's still better. And element-wise, Frieza would theoretically still be better because there is only one offensive purple, while there is Super Gogeta and Frieza within this top 10. So that's 2 versus 1. If you do the math, mathematically, statistically, Frieza should be higher if we're doing all the math together. I mean, that's what I just did right there. That's how I determined that.
Other units available in the meta, you don't need full power Frieza because there's other powerful opponents that will take the places on the team before you even consider Frieza, and that's how the game has developed currently. Whereas UI Goku, or on any team that he's on, he's going to have a place on the starting roster, the main 3. So his value on his team to the meta is...
UI's on a starting roster? Motherfucker. What starting roster? We're not going to talk about UI, CMZ, MZ. That's not it. He's not starting because you know who's a starting roster there? 13. Namek Goku, Puddle. There's 3 different units that are starting rosters there. Shit. I mean, I'm not going to... Oh, God. Am I going to say something about Metal Cooler right now? You run fucking Metal Cooler on that team than fucking UI sometimes, depending on the matchup. Sometimes. That's a terrible fucking thought from me. He's not starting. He's not a starter. Nobody outside the top 4 is a starter. Like, come on. What
actually higher than Frieza's, even though you might say Frieza is better than UI Goku. I hope that makes sense. It means that UI Goku is more necessary to fight against what's in the PvP meta right now, which you will see as we go forward in the tier list. And with Ultra Super Saiyan Goku, it's a similar thing. With him being yellow, it's alright element, but it's mainly two factors for him. The fact that at one point people would definitely say Frieza was better than Goku, but Goku's KO guard is simply indispensable. Even if he's trash, he's buns, having him on the team means that your whole team has a second life. Somebody who dies first on your team will come back. If it's
valuable.
Goku, he comes back. Let's say you're running UI with the Goku, he comes back.
Locking in a Super Vegeta rushing him,
he comes back because of Super Saiyan Goku's KO guard. But the second factor is the fact that he locks in. When his gauge is full, if you press a strike or a blast, he's going to lock the enemy in. And with that, you can take advantage by taking somebody out, switching into
move on, because I know he's going to say the lock in, blah, blah, blah. I get it. So we'll move on.
It's going to extend, and then you put supporters on top of that and actual good time, even if his damage. We've got Janemba at number. So yeah, that's the number 8 and the number 7 slot. Now these two here, people might not be.
Ooh, I like that. I agree wholeheartedly. Now I gotta listen to the reasonings, because so far the reasonings have not matched mine. But okay, I think I had the same exact thing right now. Janemba UV4. To be really honest, every time I fucking have Janemba, especially now with Super Saiyan Goku, as much as I love him, and as good as he is on his damage, because he just bursts like fucking God, I want to lower Janemba every single time I fight him. I want to lower him below Namek, and maybe even lower than that, but every time I fight that motherfucker, bro, just kills over, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm running PO mostly, and then I just ran Super Saiyan Goku, so I'm running reds. But, like, why would you not be running these reds anyways? UV4, I get it, because his teams are, faded a little bit. But Janemba, like, you gotta do something, bro, because I'm about to put you in fucking, like, number 8 or some shit soon, because I'm kind of getting tired of you just doing a fucking nothing factor every game. But I want to listen, because...
About. We've got Janemba at number 6, and we've got Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta at number 5.
I agree with the placements.
We're gonna start with Janemba.
Most of these placements,
now,
Janemba,
he's not even bad. Like, he's not bad at all. Everybody from here upwards is absolutely insane, and it's really pure micromanagement.
I think UV4
it's things that you wouldn't really consider on a day-to-day, but when you really have to super analyze it, you get down to the nitty-gritty. There are small differences that give certain characters an advantage over the other. So with Janemba, it's really that his stats aren't as great as you think they are. In his kit, they're great. His defense is great. Disruption.
His stats are normal. He literally has even stats to CMZ. HP is shit, but the general stats, he has same stat, basically same on par, like equivalent to CMZ, which CMZ has bad stats, then sure, but like CMZ has good stats, so it's fine.
I think the main thing that holds him back is that you have to build him up to give him his full potential. You gotta hit a green card, you gotta hit a blue card, and that adds the stats on top of his base level. But if you don't do those things, and those first two things might not do as much damage as you think they would, it will hold you back for the whole duration of the game. And when you have to super prioritize somebody that's not especially the best character in the game, even if you do those things right, he's still not the best damage output. He's still not the best defensively in the game. It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks. It's working hard for somebody that's not going to carry your team, and that's a very inefficient way of playing
unit. Well, here we go. It's not one positive
because he has the endurance and the buff cancellation. But ultimately, if there's Super Gogeta on the battlefield, he's getting countered. Super Gogeta nullifying endurance all the time puts this guy at risk position. You will also see the value of red is very high. With right now, we're gonna go into Ultra Super Saiyan 4.
Okay. Also to mention on Janemba again, this is my whole dilemma with him, even with his kit, the no card at entry and the fucking maintenance that he requires, like the extra steps. I don't even give a fuck about all that. I mean, I do, but like not too much. I can deal with it. The fact that he's 13 reliant, because he doesn't have a card at entry, so you have to run 13. 13 gets the gauge, 13 gets the card, whatever. That means when 13 inevitably gets, fucked over, he gets replaced, whatever, Janemba's going to fall down even faster because he's relying on 13. That's my whole dilemma with Janemba wholeheartedly so far, because when I see him without 13, I'm like, okay, he's gonna be shit regardless. But I see him with 13, I'm just like, I can still victimize this unit with 2 fucking strike cards from my red unit. So I'm just like, okay, what the fuck's this guy? Like, defense neutral or not, I still fuck him up. Doesn't matter. I've fought so many of them already. So many. I fought like 100th Janembas that I have Gogetas, because Gogeta is far above. But That reliance is what pisses me off about him. Because why make a unit reliant on another? It's just a stupid fucking
Now, one thing about Ultra Super Saiyan 4
people don't even know 13.
He is going to sneak you, right? You're thinking, alright, cool. The enemy's not doing much damage, but that's because Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta isn't on the battlefield yet. He comes in and swoops in, right? You hit the tap to switch in, and he flies in. Then he hits you with a smack. Half your health is gone. And now, even if you had endurance, he can knock it out. Let's say you're at 1 HP. He can just tap attack you. And even if you have endurance and you're at 1 HP, there's still time for him to switch out to somebody like Super Gogeta, use his endurance nullification, and tap attack you. That switch into you being low health is so impactful, and it's not something you can always prep for. It's a millisecond decision that you need to think 3 steps ahead to think, oh yeah, Vegeta's gonna come in and do a lot of damage to me.
I like how basically what I was listening to, because I was speaking, most of the points on Janemba is more negatives about him than positives, but it's Janemba, what are you gonna do, right? I obviously, if I agree with number 4 or 5 here, we'll just move on and let's see the next placement, shall we?
Well, you have to work for Janemba, whereas Vegeta, he comes like that. He comes built different. You don't have to work super hard.
That's what I'm saying. Vegeta and above
he is going to
different individuality.
Janemba, you gotta really work to build it up. It's not a lot of effort. Don't get twisted. But you still have to prioritize him, where you could use those cards for somebody else on your team that could do it more efficiently. So yeah, that's the number 6 and the number 5 spot. Let's move into the 4 and the 3. At number 4, we've got half corrupted Zamasu.
And Gogeta's gonna be number 1. Of course he is. My god, the hero fusion glaze never ends. Janemba's at number 4, or rather Janemba. I'd be lost if he was. CMZ is number 4. I'm not surprised. Why would I? How could I be surprised by that? That's not surprising. Listen.
And at number 3, we have Fusion 13. Now, this was a very, very close matchup, and these could easily be interchangeable as well, but I don't have them as that, and there's reasons for that. Like I said earlier, I'm micromanaging. That's what we were doing. It's not something you will heavily consider, but there is differences you might want to consider. So first off, if we talk about their elements, there is an element diff here. There's a lot of yellows to deal with Zamasu, where there's not many greens to deal with Fusion 13. But let's go further.
All these yellows, I'm not counting Janemba. He doesn't fucking do anything. I do not care. I do not care. Your experience of it, my own, and everyone else's. I've seen you, CMZ. They don't give a fuck about Janemba. CMZ fucking fucks Janemba faster than Janemba could fuck him. It's crazy work. These other yellows were already in the game prior, and CMZ was still in the top 2. Janemba, who's not making much fucking difference because he's such a maintenance required fucking dickhead, is not making CMZ drop from top 2 to 4. That just doesn't add up. And Gogeta is green. So how does CMZ go down when Gogeta's green and the other yellows aren't stopping him because they weren't stopping him before? I don't get it.
To Zamasu first, considering he's 4th. So with Zamasu, he has the benefits of having his, attack after death, and then he's going to hit paralyze, which is very inconvenient. He also has the chance of actually fainting you a lot, which is actually annoying, but sometimes it doesn't kick in. And those two things, even though they are very effective, something I want to point out is it's not consistent or reliable. Paralyze is something that relies on RNG.
Talk about his
it might work in your favor, it might not work in your favor, and because you're expecting it to work in your favor, it could throw you off and actually make you lose the game. On the other end, feint, you might want it to land, but then it doesn't land, and even if it does land, you might chain a card and not be able to make use of it because you don't know it's coming. So ultimately, because you're relying on the RNG factors, it's not something that's going to give you consistent results. Outside of that though, Zamasu is an amazing Rising Rush and ultimate deterrent because he has his counter. When a Rising Rush comes his way, you can just switch in. When an ultimate comes his way, you can just switch in, and he cancels buffs. He is going to set back the enemy at every single point. But one thing I want to point out as to why he's not 3 is simply everything I mentioned. There is a workaround for it, and that is a shame. You want to rush Zamasu, you can get him for a blast arts at mid-range or long range with a Rising Rush, or even an ultimate at mid-range, or you can PV him, or you could just get him on the switch in. To
ignore his gauge, just PV him. Okay, to kill Super Gogeta, just fucking PV him and lock in with Namek Goku. Then he's top 1 Namek Goku. What the fuck is this reasoning? This makes no sense. We're actually not gonna talk about CMZ's fucking damage. It's fucking crazy to me. Nah, that's actually fucking faded, bro. He mentioned the paralyze, the feint, and the rush counter. What about his blue that hits like the hardest fucking hitting attack in the individual game right now? What about that attack? Yeah, we're not gonna mention that. We're not going to mention the green card that gives you card destruction immunity. We're not going to mention that. We're going to mention his ult that you land it, you destroy the entire hand, you lock them in, you get a free priority second time or a free rush. We can talk about that. We're not talking about any of that. We're not talking about his teams. His double Zenkova freeness, his pure equip freeness. His team's giving him safety even if he doesn't have the safety in his own merit because 13's right there. MZ giving him safety because he has the fucking rush deterrency in his own kit. What are we doing? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
A character like Super Gogeta and I think Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta too. Outside of that, the Paralyzes RNG, I already told you, is unreliable. You can't rely on it. The Feint as well, you don't know when you're going to get it, so you can't rely on it. There's workarounds for these things, and let me also point out that for the Paralyzed, people can just cancel the abnormal condition. Super Gogeta's green card, UI Goku's immune to it, I believe, at some point. There are characters in the game that can simply remove the abnormal conditions. So even though CMZ's effects and his kit is very valuable, I'd say the key value he has is the Rising Rush deterrent, but there's still a way around that, you know? So because the fact that you can get around
this is like saying Ultra Beast's key value is that he stopped rushes. Oh, fuck the cup pen stacking, fuck the card cost upping he does to the entire team, fuck the green card into blue card, fuck the type neutral on main ability, fuck all that. He stops rushes. What?
Exists. He can't be number 3, at least on my tier list. But with Fusion 13, you can't get around his second life. You just can't. There's no way around it. You have to get through that first hit where he's going to basically break your combo immediately, right? Then you're going to have to get another priority and hope you actually take him out, because if you don't, he's going to have that second life on standby. But let's say you even manage to get the second life outright. Well, now you just got to fight a stronger Fusion 13, right? Like, there's no way around that second life. And that is a consistent thing you can rely on. You know the results you're going to get, so you can bank on it and plan ahead accordingly. But if CMZ, you might get it this way, you might not get it this way. Fusion 13 just being more reliable because of that, and his element being better for the meta, puts him slightly ahead, although CMZ
better
is
for the meta.
Super frustrating. I didn't even mention his diversity, because there's not much I need to say about Fusion 13. It's simply the fact that there's no way around what he has to offer. Where with CMZ, even though what he has to offer,
so because he has revival means he's top 3, basically, is it? Because you can PV rush CMZ or snipe him with select characters on rush. That means he can't be top 3. But because this guy has revival, the squishy motherfucker he is has revival, he's top 3. Does this even sound
more
like
devastating on the battlefield? It's not something you're going to get consistently while having a worse element. I hope that makes sense for you guys. That's the 4 and 3. Let's finish off this tier list with the 1 and 2, where I have it as 1A, 1B. Now, a lot of you expected this, but we've got Fusion Zamasu and Super Gogeta as 1A, 1B, implying that they could both be number 1. It's not a 1 and 2 interchangeable. It's literally 1A, 1B. They're that close. Let me explain why they're 1A, 1B, and I think this is literally a undisputed argument. Like, you can't get around this argument. So let's start with Fusion Zamasu, right? Because I personally am taking Super Gogeta every single time, but if you take Fusion Zamasu, you could clear Gogeta. Fusion Zamasu, right? He does everything better except one thing. He's got better defenses, he's got better disrupt, he's more likely to survive on the battlefield, he has better vanish restore, arguably, right? He's gonna do damage more consistently because he's in his base form, whereas Gogeta, he has to get to Super Gogeta. Do you get what I'm saying? All these things make Fusion Zamasu insane, but there's one factor that you're not gonna get out of him. That damage creep is nasty. That is nasty, man.
I hate this argument so badly, bro. I hate this shit so badly, this argument. Super Gogeta, mine is your key recovery when he's in Super Gogeta. Minder, we only ever talk about, no one talks about the pre. We only ever talk about Super Gogeta. So sure, let's talk about Super Gogeta. He has 0 forms of disruption, basically, because mine's key recovery doesn't do jack fucking shit in this game. Unless you're like fucking 2020 or some shit. MZ can heal himself 1 billion times, remove Dragon Balls, steal your cards, destroy your cards, health star debuff you, combo you just as long as Gogeta. Maybe even longer sometimes. Quick animation, blue, that's a beam. He has a ultimate, which would overpower Gogeta's blue cards. But because SG hits maybe 30% harder, faster. SG only. He's better. All that I just mentioned means nothing to the 30% more damage SG does. 20%, 30%, whatever it is. That just doesn't flow. This doesn't flow. Just don't see it.
Goku's damage is crazy. It's so crazy that all of that doesn't matter. Oh, you could tank against the rest of the game, right? But Super Goku is gonna melt you because his damage is just that step above. It's literally just that. He's coming outside with a machine gun, you know. Fair enough to Zamasu, he's coming with an assault rifle, but Super Goku, he's a machine gun. Everyone else holding pistols. This is literally the gap, and you can't get around that. I can try to rationalize it any other way, you know. Oh, but Fusion Zamasu does this. It's like that image of somebody trying to fully explain themselves, and they're going so hard to defend themselves, and then Goku is just there like, yeah, I just got better damage, and he's not talking, like mouth closed. He's not excited. He's chilling. Just pure damage. Pure damage. Damage is actually king. When damage is so high, nothing else you offer on the table can defeat you, and that's what Gogeta is. He's literally.
Why does everyone talk about Gogeta like he's Blue Beast? Every single person I hear that calls Gogeta 1, they talk about his damage like he is Prime Blue Beast with Pan and Puddle support. I swear to God, every single person I've heard that says Gogeta's number 1, they talk about him like he is Prime Blue Beast. I have Gogeta. I use Gogeta. It's very good. It's great. It's amazing. But you can't just ignore flaws that he has because he does great damage. That's just not real. I mean, the same logic applies here of you're gassing all this safety shit. Well, you have so many chances to catch more because you have your revival, your KO guard, you have your Frieza, you know, being safety. He has decent defense according, you know, to Sakashi here. It doesn't matter, but it mattered then when you were replacing them. The indestructible of Kid Ku you were gassing to the moon. But it doesn't matter now? It mattered then. Why does it matter now? The extra safety procs give you more chance to catch Gogeta to kill him with his Zero Disrupt. But it mattered then when you're replacing them. But now it doesn't matter because it's Gogeta? Like, look, there's no consistency. It's just so inconsistent. All that shit mattered when you were talking about them. But now it means nothing? Now it means jack shit. Indestructible? Revival? Don't mean anything now. Doesn't mean shit. Who cares about it? But the whole reason for 13 being number 4 or 3 is because he has revival. What? Like, what?
And what he's saying, the greatest fusion of all in this case. Fusion Zamasu, you are nice. You do everything else better. And against the rest of the game, you're a dat, bruh. If he wants you out of there, he will go do it himself on feet. But with Gogeta, if he is in your face, bro, that damage gonna hit different every single time. Nothing you offer can stop him. He's that. I'd even mention that Zamasu has better healing as well. But it doesn't matter. You're not healing, bro. You gotta switch out because you know Gogeta gonna punish you. And if he's punishing Zamasu, who's 1A, 1B, the rest of the game's cooked, you know? So yeah, there's not much more to say. Zamasu's overall a better unit. You can make the argument about
the rest of the game's cooked. Gogeta doesn't have a green card. He's not doing shit to CMZ. Might start fucking defending Metal Cooler at this point because no green card. The fuck's he doing to Metal Cooler? I hope he doesn't fucking kill him. It's fucking Metal Cooler buff.
Results, but if Gogeta is in your face, it's over. Like, those consistent results are now inconsistent when Gogeta's in your face. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just that much of a level gap, and that's the end of the conversation. So that's my 1A, 1B. Really everybody pretty much agreed. Fusion Zamasu does most things better, but when the damage gap is that clear, nothing you have.
This was an interesting top 10. I mean, again, I just don't know where this like, I used the unit. The first thing I did was use him in 14 stars against other 14 stars Gogeta. I have him 8 stars. I double Zenkai buff him. I use him. I know what he does. I've seen his damage. It's very, very high. It's very crazy. Then I started using CMZ's also 8 stars, double Zenkai buff, and his damage was looking very similar to Gogeta's. I know not even mentioning damage here, bewildering to get that point across, but I don't know, man. I don't know, bro. And again, CMZ I talk about here just as a reference point because it's not even mentioned his damage. And I had them equal stars. And I will see CMZ earlier game, because he doesn't have to fuse, obviously, be better damage than, obviously, the pre, and then about equal, if not maybe 5% less, 5% more, depending on the settings, than Gogeta. I'm just like, oh. And CMZ is also giving you the safety, the chances are bullshit, etc., etc. We all know. While being fine element, again, he has a red ally right next to him, 24-7. Interesting tier list. The UI thing, gas. The Kid Ku gas was fucking crazy, and just, I mean, obviously SG just being talked about like he is the fucking god of all is. He does damage. I mean, how can you beat that? What does disrupts matter? What do all these things matter that are mentioned before? Well, the King's here. He just does damage. It's overglazed. Does very good. He's not Prime Blue Beast, bro. He ain't doing FG, Puddle, fucking Pan, Blue Beast. He's not doing that. That's not it. That's not him. That's not him. That's not him. He ain't Prime Blue Beast. But he gets talked about like he is. Shit's crazy. What do you guys think of Sakashi's tier list? My reaction to it. I'll see you guys in the next one.